Here's Stan at the absolute peak of physical conditioning. I kid. This is Stan at his peak. Pumped and ready to save the country from his family, today we'll be giving Stan Smith a medical exam to see how fit he really is. I might not have 6 years of med school under my belt, but I've watched an unhealthy amount of American Dad, which I'm pretty sure has more qualifications than Stan's CIA TV. We're putting Stan through 5 physical exams to figure it out, all the way from speed to endurance. Starting off though with strength. For a guy in the CIA, Stan isn't always a tough guy to beat.
What are you?
Yeah, you might want to erase that before the guys at work see. Anyway, in the episode The Wrestler, Stan bashes Steve because only morons get good grades and the real men do things like fight wars, climb mountains, and wrestle teenagers, apparently. Thanks to this, we learned that he was a cool kid in high school.
Zero to hero to De Niro. You talking to me? You talking to me? And the ultimate testament to my greatness is the state record I still hold.
20 wins in a row.
If I had 20 consecutive wins and a massive ego, I'd frame myself too. And since we're checking for strength, that's definitely an impressive way to start. What's even more impressive is how he doesn't take no for an answer and decides to do the humiliating parent thing and start the wrestling club all over again.
Interested in joining the wrestling team? Please raise your hand. What if I said you get to do stuff like this?
My back!
How about that? Congratulations, Steve. You and your friends made the cut.
Yeah, zero respect for the elderly, but he did just casually body slam a grown man. And considering the average elderly man in the US is pushing around 150 pounds, that's medically concerning strength. Definitely more points for strength. He's just lucky we're not grading his ability to actually coach wrestling.
Shmuley, remember what I taught you?
Yes, Coach.
Good. Now get in there and destroy this guy.
Oh my God!
It's not going well for Snot.
Oh my God!
But don't worry, son. You're a Smith. You'll be fine.
He's lying! You won't be fine! Call my aunt!
Anyways, the plot goes, Roger finds out he actually has a knack for wrestling, and because he'd rather be the museum tour guide for his own museum than anyone else's, he does what Roger always does, backstab Stan to break his record. Of course, Stan's not about to let some frickin' golden goo-poopin' alien steal the greatest accomplishment of his life.
1, 2. It's been 10 days. You gotta give up eventually.
Never!
Don't you have a job to go to?
Smith, read this intel and give me a report by the end of the day.
10 days in that position is impressive, uncomfortable, and probably misleading, but it does show how strong Stan is in his endurance. But we'll get to that latter one later. Roger doesn't count. He's an alien. Only the heavens knows what other things his body can do. Back to Stan's body, we've seen him pull off things even he didn't think were physically possible, like fighting the literal son of Satan or voluntarily blinding himself. I'd love to calculate his strength based on that one time he took crack.
Yeah!
Good work, Smith.
I'm gonna assume those are prop rocks and not quite as solid as the real deal. If his boss knew what Stan was actually on, he'd kick his butt straight to a mental ward in Colombia. Speaking of his boss, how are those two even able to stand in the same room, pretending they didn't almost rip each other's throats out in the first season? After director Bullock and Haley get into a very questionable relationship, she eventually breaks his heart to get back with Jeff, and Stan doesn't give a flying spaceship about any of that. All this man cared about was his promotion.
Back in my life, and you're just gonna have to deal with him. Haley!
Shh! I was never here. Bob, I'm all turned around. Can you tell me how to get back to the road?
That's just low, even for Stan. But I'm not here to judge his parenting morals. Let's focus on how impressive it was that he knocked over that frackin' fence. Now, sure, that might have had something to do with the adrenaline spike from the very real fear of getting scolded by his wife, but still impressive. At least he redeems himself in the end by finally standing up to Bullocks.
Sir, she is my daughter.
Silence, man horse. This is between me and that filthy, cheap slut.
This is for treating me like an errand boy. This is for delaying my promotion. This is for disrespecting my daughter. And this is for not letting me stop at the creek for a drink.
Well, he can kiss that promotion goodbye, but we gotta admit it takes a certain mental strength to stick it to your boss like that, because dude is multitasking, talking back, punching back.
Jimmy Ng was killed while driving to the set. Yeah, everyone was devastated, but, you know, the show must go on. We just missed the funniest joke in the episode. I'm sorry, I'll shut up now.
Any last words, Deputy Director?
Bullocks looks like he got mauled by a frackin' bear, but he actually does some serious damage to Stan. And that tracks, considering he's the deputy director of the CIA and casually drops hints about his steroid use, which is exactly why this makes Stan's strength so fire, even if some of his feats are a little erratic.
What were you thinking? We don't want their kind in this neighborhood.
You're overreacting.
Overreacting. Overreacting. Do you know what those two are? Reporters. That's right, Francine. Members of the liberal media.
Bro just made a dent in the wall with his face. Definitely not overreacting. Stan never acts without thinking, which is exactly why jumping headfirst into an activist group was a terrible idea. Not only does he immediately get captured, but he's also subjected to high-grade leftist torture, which is just being forced to listen to NPR's Era Glass on repeat. And somehow this hypnosis works perfectly because Stan turns into the one thing he hates almost as much as Satan himself. A leftist. Luckily, Haley knocks him back to his senses to face his handlers.
You wouldn't hurt a guy in a wheelchair.
Of course not. But I would hurt a guy with his wheelchair.
Nothing says CIA strength like beating a disabled guy with his wheelchair, but let's focus on the actual strength feat here. How effortlessly he lifts her with 2 fingers by her piercings and swings her around like a frackin' chew toy. That's not adrenaline, that's insane grip. So with all that in mind, I think we can agree Stan's strength lands at a solid 8.5 out of 10. He's no full-on Hulk, but he's definitely operating some above normal human limits. Of course, that kind of confidence goes straight to his head because when it comes to speed, Stan might actually be seriously overestimating how fast he really is.
I know you hate his guts, which is why we've decided to elope.
Of course that wasn't real. Turns out finding out your daughter is eloping with a hippie can cause a concussion. But that sparks the question, how fast is Stan? And how fast is his reaction time? We can already agree that he's no Flash, but you gotta admit that no matter how overbearing he is, he still rises to the occasion. I'm also saying this because even among his CIA buddies, Stan's always the first to react.
Dads!
You're busted!
Tell it to the guy who fixes your windows. Huh?
Always gets the short end of the straw, and yeah, they're not perfect, but they are still highly trained agents, so Stan having the fastest reflexes among them does say something. That said, I'm pretty sure panicking and sprinting for help is still faster than Stan ever has been on purpose, and even with all that speed, it still can't save the whole team from doing dumb things.
Hey, check it out! There's some sort of event going on at our hotel.
Maybe it's a wedding. Those are cop cars. Must be a police wedding.
Good thing we've got these uniforms. We'll blend right in. Guys, take your guns out so we're not conspicuous. You guys are doing great.
And that's supposed to be the country's intelligence agency. Anyway, what better way to measure how fast Stan really is than during the literal rapture? And no, I don't mean apocalypse. In Rapture's delight, the end finally comes, and almost everyone gets raptured, except sinners like Stan and Francine, who apparently won't repent anything that they've ever done ever. Actually, that checks out. If only there was a way to calculate the exact speed at which Stan denies Francine.
Oh, it's me, Stan Smith. I was supposed to be raptured, but there was a mistake.
I'm sorry, Stan, but what's done is done.
I know what this is about. It's because of the sex in church, isn't it? Look, I didn't want to do it. She seduced me. What? Please, Jesus, don't let her moral failings screw me out of paradise.
Even Judas didn't deny Jesus that fast. During the whole Antichrist situation, Stan suddenly turns into Jerry from the, Cronenberg universe situation, while Francine leaves him for the Son of God. Don't ask me for details. I don't fracking know this episode that much. All I know is that by the final battle, Stan ends up teaming up with Jesus to save Francine and makes the ultimate sacrifice. No, he didn't die on the cross.
Thou shalt not kill! Later, world!
A sad moment, really, but you gotta give it to Stan. Being faster than your Lord and Savior deserves bonus points. And this isn't even the first or the only time Stan's been faster than a bullet. There are other moments when he just straight up jumps in the way and takes one for someone else. Like when Haley goes full anti-gun activist and somehow manages to trigger the mascot for the National Gun Alliance, which I still don't understand why they even need.
Haley, tell Roger he's annoying.
Luckily, he survived, but I gotta say, this is his most underrated speed feat yet. Most people would freeze the second a gun is pointed at them, not Stan. What's actually mind-blowing is that he's already in a wheelchair, limited movement, no leverage, and he still reacts fast enough to take a bullet. Watch out, DC. And honestly, the one person who knows firsthand just how fast Stan really is our very own alien buddy, Roger.
Did it perfectly. Stan? What are you doing here?
You called me.
No, I didn't. Stan, I'm at Shenanigans. I'm super drunk and about to get come pick me up in 45 minutes. Hey, I did call you, and I sound great. I should get voiceover work.
In a world where vomit comes out of my mouth.
Let's try not to focus on the puke for a sec, because for someone who just jumped in front of a moving bus to save an ungrateful alien, Stan looks completely unbothered. And neither does Roger. He's already seen Stan pull off stuff like this before.
Really? You'll never catch me! Just climbed right up the ropes, didn't you?
One blink and you'd miss him. But when Stan's not out taking bullets for his family, he's still getting dragged into serious trouble because of them, like the time Steve somehow misplaced a $50 million military drone. Oh, and by misplaced, I mean he left it at a body shop, where it immediately got stolen by the Chinese mafia, because of course it did. And naturally, Stan has to be the one to go get it back.
Idiots! That's a $50 million piece of military hardware! And I just renewed the parking sticker!
$50 million bucks? Tim got a great deal.
Oh, let's kill this guy and then go get it back.
I can't believe we all missed him. Well, actually, not killing people is kind of my New Year's resolution.
It's against 6 armed men barely 10 feet away and escaped without so much as a bullet graze. You can't get really faster than that, folks. For all this, I'm going to give him a solid 7 out of 10. Sure, he's got amazing reaction time, but dude still gets surprised and sometimes outsped by other characters, so he's still human. Jesus was probably holding back. So we've covered strength and speed, which means it's time to talk about his senses, and no, not in the mental way. We already know how that department's doing.
What did I tell you about the legroom in the back seat?
Very roomy.
And it's an extremely safe first car for your daughter. You're a good dad. Your dad's a good dad. Hey, check it out. This thing can stop on a dime. Think fast!
Now, we can't talk about Stan's sensory awareness without checking how fit his sensory organs are. Let's start with taste. Simply put, it's pretty unrefined. Here's how he describes the primordial queso. A supernaturally delicious dip powerful enough to spawn a cooking demon. What is this, Chainsaw Man?
Wow. I knew it! Tell me how it tastes! That's good. Give me more than that, brother. Well, it has a yellowy, kind of melted taste. Your words fail you, mortal. Oh, I know now. It doesn't taste like paint. What the hell's that even? Get out of my way!
Yeah, no, that's just terrible. So let's move on to smell. It's Halloween, and Stan's trying to turn his house into the scariest haunted house on the block. Problem is, he's got real competition. And even Francine isn't convinced he's winning this one, so she cheats on him by going to another man's haunted house.
These people are meant to think.
Stan, I'm sorry, but you can't compete with Buckle.
What are you talking about? I'm still the scariest. What is that sound?
Nothing.
That's pee-pee. Did you pee yourself at Buckles?
Some people can't smell when they've peed themselves, which proves that Stan's nose actually isn't that bad. Now let's move on to sight. In the episode My Morning Straitjacket, Stan tries to get Haley to give up what he calls the devil's music, but forcing a teenager to quit rock music is basically the same as arguing with an actual rock. You're not really doing it for the rock, you're doing it for yourself. So of course, Haley doesn't listen and goes to the concert anyway, while Stan tries to bring her home.
I'll never find her in here. Well, that could have taken a lot longer.
Even he didn't believe how fast he found her. In a concert packed wall to wall with people, Stan barely blinks and immediately locks onto his daughter like some high-grade military hardware. So yeah, definitely impressive. Now when it comes to hearing and touch, I'm going to bundle it up with the rest of the other senses and basically call it his sense of danger, all right? Because even though it's impressive, sometimes it's completely uncalled for.
This is Ali, Khalid, and Faziz. Are you okay?
I'm fine, and quick, like a cat. A cat that could kill you.
Like I said, completely uncalled for. And I wish I could say that that was the only time, but Stan's senses tend to go into overdrive for the worst possible of reasons. Half the time, it's not danger, it's paranoia. Dude doesn't even try to hide it. Like back in the first season when Francine starts feeling left out of the neighborhood gossip, mostly because Stan is out here running background checks on everyone.
And that's the last time I buy pre-washed spinach in a bag.
So Laura, you had an abortion in college.
What?
Okay, sports and leisure for the win.
I seriously doubt the McClearys ever came back for game night, or stayed married. But as usual, Francine talks Stan into dropping the whole CIA agent act and trying to be a normal family guy for once. And while he does try to help her reconnect with people, he immediately runs into every security-obsessed man's worst nightmare. New neighbors. And not just any new neighbors.
We'd love to come.
Well, maybe some other time. So, what part of Islam do you hail from?
Well, my parents were from Iran, but I was born in Cleveland.
Really? You know, we also have a Cleveland here in America, and it'd be just super if you didn't blow it up.
So, the block party starts at 3 and goes till ? It's potluck, so...
But not smallpox. Kidding. Kinda joking, but not really.
So it's less powerful crime detection senses and more racism. Anyway, putting that aside, Stan has always had genuinely sharp senses and reflexes when he's actually responding to real danger and not just inventing it. And it's been all in our faces from the pilot episode.
If the terrorists take over this country, that's the first thing to go.
It's just toast, Dad.
This time it was toast, Haley.
Irrelevant as always, I think over time Stan's gone from stone cold CIA agent to just being the punchline, and to be honest, that's pretty normal for long-running cartoons like this. After enough seasons, realism stops mattering and the characters just exist to do whatever is funniest in the moment, and Stan's no exception. His senses are sharp and the plot needs them, and the rest of the time they're just there to make him look unhinged.
I'm gonna hack a loogie in your oil of Olay.
Where's your machete?
Honey, take it easy.
If I die, you must protect the clan. Osama, is that you?
Nevertheless, it's stuff like that that had us laughing till we farted. Yeah, all of us. So compared to how he used to be, Stan's senses have definitely dulled over time, but he still has his moments. Like when he becomes an instructor at the CIA Academy and couldn't teach for crap, so they all got captured. But he sure as hell wasn't gonna let his students die because of him.
He dies.
Don't worry, Stan. I'll keep your tongue safe. Got it, Stan. Come get it anytime. But you'll have to buy me dinner first.
Why is Roger always there to make Stan's saves uncomfortable for all of us? But look at that, senses on full alert, every threat detected, every move anticipated. And no, this doesn't fall under speed. The bullets aren't moving slower, and Stan isn't magically faster than physics allows. What makes this impressive is how he detects the threat instantly, processes it, and reacts before anyone else even knows what's happening. But even with all that, Stan still has his fair share of dull sense moments.
Give me the rock.
Swish.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
You could have at least sensed the disappointment from the crowd, but still I'm giving him a solid 8 out of 10 for guts. And he's gonna need it, because this is where everything we talked about so far gets tested all at once. Speed, strength, senses, all rolled into one. So what better way to check Stan's agility than throwing him back into what he does best, a good old-fashioned CIA mission.
Sorry, sir. We're closed for the night.
Absolutely gruesome. At the same time, extremely impressive. The fact that he can move in close, target specific pressure points under pressure, and drop a guy instantly shows a level of control that goes way beyond just being fast or strong. And this isn't anything new, because we see his agility right from the very get-go in the first episode when Stan thought of a brilliant way to help Steve get the ladies.
Last night, and she's like, hey, my purse!
Don't worry, young lady. Hey, you, come back here.
What was meant to be a simple fake robbery chase instantly turns into a full-blown parkour run. Stan doesn't hold back for even a second, moving like he's still on an active CIA mission while Steve is clearly fighting for his life, just trying to keep up. And really, questioning Stan's agility at this point is wild. If you've seen the episode of Ice and Men where we find out Stan's most embarrassing secret, Yeah, you wouldn't be questioning his agility. He's secretly a figure skater, sorely, Ren. He calls it embarrassing, but all I see is agility at its peak. Well, maybe peak is a stretch, but seriously, what screams agility more than spinning on ice in full CIA mode? It's no wonder he's able to do weird things like this. Look at him actually putting that agility to work. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Stan moves way too smoothly for a middle-aged CIA dad. Like, why are his hips that cooperative? But agility isn't just about flipping around and showing off. Half the time it's about thinking on the fly, switching plans mid-fight, using whatever he's got, doing whatever it takes to win.
Come on, Stan. The CIA spent years training you for this exact situation. Use that training.
Okay, underhanded play. I get it. But if you're doing everything possible to win a fight, that's still part of the fight rules. Anyway, the best way to really see how agile Stan is comes from the long bomb, and you already know it's about to get serious because the episode doesn't even bother with an intro. Stan and Haley decide to attend the opening day game of the Langley Falls Bazooka Sharks, an unusual pair, and even they know it.
When's the game start?
Kickoff's in 15 minutes, which sounds like a lot, but if we just break it down into 900 easy-to-digest 1-second chunks, you know what? I need something I can only get in the concourse. A keychain?
Here you go, mister. Take mine.
Leave me alone!
What a smooth way to dodge a conversation with your daughter. Unfortunately for Stan, avoiding feelings doesn't work as well when the entire stadium has been hijacked by criminals. While these dudes are running around planting bombs, Stan's world-class talent for disappearing during emotional moments drops him straight into a situation he's absolutely not prepared for.
Great Dwight? You're not the Asian woman who plays Great Dwight. What have you done with Lee Tran?
Not surprisingly, Stan takes the guy down. And honestly, this is perfect for him. A full-blown terrorist situation is a great excuse to avoid talking to Haley. But of course, even fighting a bunch of terrorists doesn't save him because Haley ends up getting captured too. The upside? She starts sending him coded messages with the bomb locations.
That's disgusting. Another announcement just fluttered in. To the owner of the car with license plate The Bomb, you are illegally parked in the Sharks locker room? Another message, it's...
Honestly, the two of them make a great team because if this were Steve, half the stadium would already be in bits. But even after getting the commentator fired, there's still a problem. The bomb's in an absolutely stupid location. The goalpost. And if there's one thing you can count on, it's Stan finding the most extra way possible to clear that hurdle.
Touchdown! Ignatowski enjoys a well-deserved dance, shinning up the goalpost like a burlesque dancer. Celebratory acrobatics display.
It's one thing to be agile enough to throw hands with gang members, but casually switching to NFL-level quarterback, bruised up, carrying the team to a win, and then doing a whole routine up the goalpost? That's not just agility, that's talent. Sadly, talent doesn't save him here because Stan immediately throws it all away and turns himself in to save Haley.
No, I have your daughter.
Dad?
Oh!
Dad, I'm so sorry.
We'll get out of this. So, that Miley Cyrus, pretty outrageous, isn't she?
Stop this terrible conversation!
I kinda agree with the terrorist here, even though part of me really wanted to see where that conversation was going. But back at home base, we find out that the villain is actually a player everyone thought was dead, and all he wanted was his jersey back. Yeah, weird. What's even weirder is that the real bomb was powered by the crowd noise, so the only way to stop it is to get the entire stadium as loud as humanly possible. And when that doesn't work, Stan and Haley are left with exactly one option.
Halle Berry, Felicia Rashad, Davis, Gabrielle Union, Journey Smollett Bell, Mom from Family Matters who never anticipated Urkel.
Urkel.
That would have been a perfect time to use Roger's weird talents, but hey, silver lining, it finally gets Stan and Haley talking face to face. I mean, what better father-daughter bonding moment than casually standing over a live bomb? A bombing moment, if you will. Sorry, I let myself out. And speaking of ridiculously funny technology, another top-tier agility moment is when Stan goes head-to-head with his own futuristic self.
Shadlow.
understand how much flexibility and coordination your body needs to pull that off? Because I'm pretty sure a cyborg from 1,000 years in the future is operating way past normal human limits. So yeah, for agility, Stan Smith is getting a massive 9 out of 10. Yeah, but all these skills don't mean much if you gas out after 5 minutes. So now we move on to the endurance section. Being a CIA agent with no endurance is just cosplay with a badge. I mean, at least we know his endurance level to trauma.
Guess I can say goodbye to my separation anxiety because the Globetrotters didn't abandon me. My dad did, which is way worse because that ain't never going away.
Not exactly impressive at first glance, but endurance isn't just about taking hits. It's also about patience. Like, how long can you tolerate something before you completely lose it? And honestly, a good chunk of Stan's endurance feats comes from living with Francine. The man survived her cooking for years. No wonder they're still together. How about the time Stan helps her long-lost dream, and I wish I could say it's the usual dream?
My dream is to destroy George Clooney. That arrogant, overrated, memo-writing bastard! He's not even an actor! And everybody's buying it!
Turns out she wants to destroy George Clooney. And hey, no dream is too big, so naturally they come up with a completely sane plan. Get Clooney to fall in love with Francine, then have her break his heart. And this is where the endurance really comes in, because to make Francine's dream come true, they spend an entire year, committing to this ridiculous plan.
Oh, Stan, this is the best birthday present you've ever given me!
Hey, that's right, look at that. It's after midnight. Happy 40th birthday, honey.
Real definition of a power couple. But even the strongest of couples eventually run out of things to talk about, which is exactly why Stan and Francine decide they need new couple friends.
So cute out there, aren't they?
Which one's yours?
Number 12.
That's ours.
I meant number 21.
The black one?
Yes, my wife here cheated on me. Anyway, you guys want to grab some sushi?
And yeah, you can already tell this isn't going great for them. At least not until they meet this super cool couple, Tom and Cammy. At first, it's a match made in heaven. Only problem is they're young. No kids, no curfews, just vibes, alcohol, workouts.
St. Ides, were we drinking 40s?
What happened?
You passed out making mac and cheese.
Why didn't you turn off the stove?
You guys laughed at my head. Now you ruined a pot.
Now, they're not about to let burnt pots, hangovers, and tiny strangers in their house, or as you'd call them, children, stop them. Even though they know that's a challenge, Francine at least tries to step up, but Stan... That's not even the worst thing that happens to him in this couple's parkour sequence.
Good free run.
Dude, is that your shin bone?
Yep, compound fracture feels good after a workout, huh? Nice to air out the bones a little. I'm gonna chill here, catch my breath, go into shock. I'll meet up with you at the tiki bar.
Get it, boy!
Yeesh, if I had to rate that pain, I'd say it's worse than stubbing your toe after the worst day of your life and then multiplying that by like a bajillion. But honestly, that's top tier endurance, the kind only a CIA agent with unresolved issues could pull off. And this isn't even new for Stan. He's been through freak accidents where he didn't so much as flinch, like the time they hid from Francine's cooking in the crawl space.
Sorry, I drove you guys underground.
I scratched myself on a nail!
Gotta watch out for those nails. Do my eyes spy a little smoky in the dirt?
Dad, are you okay?
There's a nail in his head.
Why isn't he speaking?
Somebody do something!
And that wasn't some tiny nail either. That thing was basically the size of a butter knife, and somehow not even a real ouch came out of Stan's mouth. Well, that and the nail being lodged in his brain probably took away his ability to talk or something, because this man walked around with it stuck in his head for days without ever going to the hospital. Instead, it somehow unlocked his third sense.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I am the manager of this Nordstrom, and that is simply gorgeous playing. You're hired, and you're fired.
Does Dick's Sporting Goods have piano players?
If I had a vote, I'd say leave the nail in forever, but of course they don't. Eventually, a doctor takes it out with no anesthesia. So yeah, Stan's endurance is looking pretty rabonkulous right now, except for the few moments where I can't even blame him for freaking out.
Of course I'm right, because I'm a man. A man, Francine. From my head down to my low-hanging...
Yeah, no amount of endurance is gonna save a guy from that kind of pain. But endurance isn't just about how many bones you can break before screaming loud enough for aliens to hear. It's about how much your mind can take under pressure or, torture. A perfect example? When Stan got kidnapped by that radical group. They tried the usual physical torture, and when that didn't work, they had to move on to plan B.
Death! on 9/11, unhealthy food in 7-Eleven, Instagram. No thank you, ma'am. Television news is society's bruise. Makes me want to drink booze because nobody's perfect.
You already know how the story goes because we know Stan was successfully turned into a leftist, but all it took was some NPR and slam poetry, and yeah, his mental endurance is breachable. Proven. Another time he was held captive was in the episode In Country Club. What was supposed to be a harmless play-pretend reenactment of the Vietnam War gets completely hijacked by none other than...
Roger, let me go. You give me code now. Cody now. Now. Now.
All of that just to get Stan to hand over his scrambled cable code so he can watch a Barbra Streisand special. And Roger's not dumb. He knows that stripping Stan naked and slapping him around isn't gonna work. So he pulls out the real torture weapon, a 700-page first draft of Michael Patrick King's in the City movie.
You guys know that young firefighter I did last night? Well, his hose spattered all over my European mosaic floor, and I slipped in it because I landed square on the rabbit and found out what's up, Doc. Samantha's story made me wonder, if I slipped, would Big be there to catch me?
Sadly, Stan gives in. And honestly, that hurts a little. For a guy who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro as a 75-year-old version of himself, I expected better. So for having the cojones to endure physical torture, insane patience, and still throw hands, but also having the mental fortitude of a baby when it comes to fracking matters that matter, I'm giving Stan a 7.5. Oh well, as today's totally legit fitness doctor, after flipping through my imaginary chart holder, here is the verdict. Strength-wise, he's way above your average guy and will drop you ASAP for America and Jesus. For speed and endurance, pretty mid. Nothing crazy. Doesn't mean you should sleep on him, because when stuff gets chaotic, his senses and agility are good enough to keep up with an alien. So Stan's overall fitness, 40 out of 50. Considering he's in his mid-40s, definitely not bad at all. My advice, keep doing whatever it is you're doing, buddy. Or, don't if you don't want to. If you, my dear viewer, want to see something more impressive, though, click the link on screen right about now. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.